I'm going to tell you something that might make you feel understood in a way you have not before. Some people spend a significant part of their lives somewhere else entirely, not physically but mentally, in imagined conversations, future possibilities, alternate versions of events, stories that never happen but feel strangely vivid, entire inner worlds that can appear in seconds and disappear just as quickly. And for most of their lives, they are told this is a flaw, that they are distracted. Unfocused, not present enough, that if their mind wanders this often, something must be wrong. But the truth is more complicated than that. The same tendency that can create frustration in one setting can become a strength in another. The habit of drifting inward can be connected to imagination, emotional processing, empathy, creativity, and strategic thinking. It can also create avoidance, guilt, and disconnection when left unmanaged. Like many human traits, it is neither gift nor curse by itself. It is a capacity shaped by how it is used. So if you have ever stared out a window and lost 20 minutes to your own thoughts, if you have ever felt embarrassed by how much of your life happens inside your mind, if you have ever wondered why your inner world feels more vivid than the room around you, this may be for you. Because what I am about to break down may not be a diagnosis. It may be a different way of understanding how your mind works. Trait 1, you may process emotions through imagination. Some people feel something, name it, and move on. Others need to turn it over repeatedly. They revisit what happened, replay conversations, imagine different endings, explore what it meant, and test how they really feel from several angles before clarity arrives. From the outside, that can look like distraction. From the inside, it can be emotional processing. The mind often uses imagination to work through experiences that are unfinished or difficult to understand. A future conversation gets rehearsed because part of you wants resolution. A past moment gets replayed because something about it still feels unresolved. A fantasy scenario appears because it allows you to feel emotions in a safe space before confronting them in reality. This does not mean every daydream is profound. Sometimes it is simply escape. Sometimes it is boredom. Sometimes it is avoidance. But not always. For many people, the inner world becomes the place where emotions are metabolized before they can be expressed. Trait 2, your imagination may stay active even when nothing external is happening. Most people can imagine things when prompted. Some people seem to generate inner material constantly. A song becomes a scene. Two strangers become a story. A small decision becomes 3 possible futures. A random memory links to an idea that did not exist a moment ago. This kind of mental activity is common during mind wandering, when attention shifts away from the immediate environment toward internal thought. Neuroscience has long studied networks involved in this process, including systems associated with memory, imagination, self-reflection, and perspective-taking. In simple terms, your mind may remain active even during quiet moments. That can feel inconvenient in a world built around sustained external attention, but it can also be the raw material of creativity. Many ideas emerge not when the mind is forced, but when it is free enough to wander and combine things unexpectedly. The challenge is not that your imagination exists. It is learning when to let it roam and when to bring it back. Trait 3, you may feel other people's experiences more vividly than most. When someone tells you a story, you may not only understand it intellectually, you may feel yourself inside it. You imagine the room they were in, the tension they felt, the words they wished they had said. You do not just hear events, you simulate them. That can be connected to empathy. Empathy has many forms. One kind involves emotional resonance. Another involves perspective-taking, mentally stepping into another person's experience. People with active inner worlds often practice this more than they realize because imagination naturally trains the mind to inhabit multiple viewpoints. This can make you compassionate, perceptive, and emotionally attuned. It can also become heavy. You may carry emotions that were never yours to carry. You may feel responsible for pain you only imagined. You may absorb atmospheres and stories long after everyone else has moved on. Sensitivity can be a gift. It also needs boundaries. Trait 4, your mind may run ahead of the present moment. You are in a conversation, but part of your mind is already forecasting where it will go next. You imagine how they might respond. You prepare 3 answers before they finish speaking. You anticipate tension before it appears. Sometimes you are remarkably accurate. Sometimes you react to a future that never arrives. This is one reason imaginative minds can appear distracted while actually being highly engaged. The brain naturally uses simulation to predict and prepare. In moderation, this can support strategy, social awareness, and faster thinking. It helps people navigate uncertainty by mentally rehearsing possibilities before acting. But when it becomes excessive, you stop responding to reality and start responding to projections. The skill is not the constant forecasting itself. The skill is knowing when prediction is helping and when it is stealing your attention from what is actually happening. Trait 5, you may have a more complicated relationship with the present than other people do. Many people speak about being present as if it were effortless. For some minds, it is not. The present moment can feel thin compared to the richness of memory and imagination. You are physically at dinner but mentally replaying something from earlier. You are walking outside but building tomorrow in your head. You are sitting in silence but internally living through 5 different timelines. That does not automatically mean you are ungrateful or disconnected. It may mean your mind is strongly oriented toward narrative. Narrative requires past, future, cause, consequence, meaning. Some people live close to immediate sensory experience. Others naturally organize life through story. Both styles have strength, both have limits. Presence brings peace, contact, and reality. Imagination brings insight, possibility, and depth. The goal is rarely to destroy one in favor of the other. It is to build access to both. Trait 6, you may be more creative than you give yourself credit for. Creativity is not only painting, music, or writing. At its core, creativity is the ability to generate possibilities, connect unrelated things, and see options others miss. If your mind constantly builds scenarios, recombines memories, imagines alternatives, and explores what could be, you may be practicing creative cognition far more often than you realize. Many people struggle to produce ideas on demand because they only use imagination when asked. You may be using it all day without naming it. That does not mean every thought is brilliant. Quantity is not quality. But a mind that regularly generates possibilities has access to raw material others may need much more effort to create. The next step is often not becoming creative. It is learning to capture and direct what is already there. Trait 7, you may sense things before you can explain them. There are moments when you walk into a room and something feels off. You meet someone and have an immediate impression you cannot justify. You know a conversation is shifting before the words confirm it. You make a choice that later proves wise even though you could not explain it at the time. People often call this intuition. Intuition is not magic. It is frequently fast pattern recognition. The brain absorbs countless cues outside conscious awareness, then produces a feeling before it can produce an explanation. Tone, pacing, expression, context, memory, previous experiences, subtle inconsistencies, all of it can be processed beneath the surface. People with active inner worlds sometimes trust these signals more because they are used to living close to internal experience. That can be valuable. It can also be wrong. Not every feeling is wisdom. Sometimes intuition is insight. Sometimes it is fear wearing the same voice. Learning the difference is one of the most important forms of maturity. And here is the last thing, the part many people never hear. If much of this felt familiar, you may have spent years assuming your wandering mind was only a liability, that you needed to become someone simpler, quieter, more externally focused, more naturally present, that your inner world was an obstacle standing between you and a better life. But your mind may not be broken. It may be powerful in ways that require skill, not shame. Imagination can become avoidance or it can become creativity. Sensitivity can become overwhelm or it can become empathy. Simulation can become anxiety or it can become preparation. Inner depth can become isolation or it can become insight. The trait is not the destiny. You do not need to worship your mind. You do not need to hate it either. You may simply need to understand it well enough to use it.